Hey guys, how you doing? Tuesday morning Devo time. Hope you guys are all doing well, happy and healthy and all that. We're doing mercy stories, continuing on in this theme all summer long, where James teaches that mercy triumphs over judgment. So we're just looking at ways in our world, in Scripture and the stories of Jesus, places like that we see this reality being true. And I've got something to share with you today, a little show and tell, actually. I'll hold it up here. It's called the Montgomery story. A little history on this you may know. One of the ways they told stories and got information out back during the Civil Rights Movement was they created this comic book called the Montgomery story. And it tells the story of Martin Luther King Jr. and his sort of rise to prominence in the movement. They told the story of Rosa Parks and the bus, all that kind of stuff. And they created this comic book to get that story out for little kids and for adults and everybody else too, just to as an effective means of talking about it. And so they make these replica copies, and so I ordered one and was reading it. And it literally brought me to tears yesterday. I was reading this. It's all about nonviolence and how the tactics that the civil rights leaders, all deeply committed people of faith and committed towards loving their enemies, loving their neighbors, that sort of thing, were committed to nonviolence as the way they moved their agenda forward. And really powerful. And so the part that just really got me yesterday, here you see this little thing right here. It's the you may recognize it. It's a famous it's an illustration of a famous photograph of the Little Rock Nine, the integration of those 9 children, 9 African American children into an all white school, kind of ending segregation, and the things they experienced, those 9 students getting yelled at and called names and spit on and all that kind of stuff. And next to it, they're talking about nonviolence from a pragmatic sense, and how you don't change anybody's heart by striking them back, by fighting back, by hurling insults at them, and by bombing their houses, and whatever else might have been tempted. You don't change people that way, right? You change people by loving them. And so this is what the passage says. It says, it'll be easier for him, talking about your enemy, to see you this way as an equal, as a brother, as a sister, if you act like a brother. So even when he tries to hurt you, you must not strike back. Notice what comes next. Even in your thoughts, you must not strike back. You must go on loving him. Like the schoolgirl in Little Rock, you must say, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. I think that's the one direct quote of Scripture in this comic strip. I could be wrong on that, but I think that's the only one. They're not incredibly overt about preaching the gospel here or anything like that. But obviously that's all sorts of Jesus, isn't it? That is a mercy story. That is the picture that James gets us of mercy triumphs over judgment, of showing mercy and love and compassion to our enemies, like those actively trying to hurt us. That's like next level, PhD level love, is to love our enemies. One of the most radical things Jesus says is that we have to love our enemies. Our enemies are our brothers. And isn't it interesting? We say mercy triumphs over judgment. That's why the civil rights movement was so effective, I think, because they used that nonviolent resistance as their method. They refused to strike back. And notice that even in their minds, they didn't want to strike back. So that was moving to me yesterday, and I thought very worthy of a mercy story here on Tuesday. Hope you guys are doing well. Remember, check out the website, holylandventures.net, if you want to come to Israel with me in March. We would love to have you. God bless, friends. Be well.